Well, good evening. This is Tom, and I'm going to take a little bit of time here and run through some of the features of the scoring program and some of the suggestions that I have to help you score a little bit more easily. I'm not running the development system. I'm running the same program that is currently out there, and let's take a look. First of all, notice that currently I have the three meets where we've used this current year's curriculum as 2014 arbitrarily, because that's a different curriculum, and 2013. Then if you go back to there, you'll see all the stuff from last year, including the Tournament of Champions, Budapest, the global round, etc. Just go down here on the bottom of the main form and switch it over to switch the year. Okay. The database is actually working better than it ever has. If you go to switch the database, you go in and browse for the database you want. And let me just go ahead and switch this over, and it actually switches immediately. Let's switch to one of Zach's conflicted copies here, and just look at that. Notice at the top of the form it tells you what the name of the database is that you're currently hooked up to, and it actually gives you that exact one. I'm not sure if the Zach's current copy is the one that had the problems. Let's go see if it'll open the reports. If it doesn't, it had the bad data for the Tournament of Champions round. I'm guessing he's got a copy of the fixed one. Yep, we're okay here. So here is the reports, and if we look at this, we're looking at the 2014, so we can't see that bad round anyway. These should all show up. A quick way to see if you've got tournaments that show up here is to see the medal counts are here. This little feature here counts the medals and the honor medals and the honor roll for each of the slides. And if that's accurate, you should be able to use that to get a fairly decent guess as to the number of medals you're giving out. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and close this back down, and let's look at a couple of features that we've just put in. First, let me say a couple of things about the registration. You have been working on the registration from your own spreadsheets, and that's fine as long as you have the information about the same way as it has been. Make sure that when you import, I would recommend strongly that you have the seniors and juniors on separate spreadsheets. Okay? Don't try to import a spreadsheet that contains both the juniors and seniors. You can separate them out before you import, but don't try to import both of them at once. You'll get them mixed together here on the teams. It doesn't know that the 500s and above automatically go into the senior division. So when you use the import tool, let me do this here and show you this. When you use the import tool and find your current contest, okay, let's see. Let me go back to one where we have some stuff. Don't remember where I can go here. November something. November 11th. November 16th. 19th maybe. Yeah, okay, there's the one I've been working with. I believe this is Mumbai or something. Anyway, in this we have a bunch of importable things. This is registration worksheet, and if we look at this, let it load. This is what I recommend that your registrations kind of look like. Did it load? It's getting there. Okay. This simply has just the seniors. The reason it has just the seniors is because this is one that I used to save after I had imported from another one. Okay? But have them on separate sheets. If you have more than one sheet, you can change to the different worksheet here on this little pull down. And there should be some in here you can play around with. Drag these headings over and drop them on the column. Be sure to drag the team ID, the position. Make sure the position is not ABC. Okay. Recommend that you have the import still the same as it has been. All right. And when you're ready, just hit import. I'm going to cancel. Now, another thing you can look at is as you're looking at the teams here, and let me switch to a different contest, maybe with a few more schools. Let's go to Mumbai. Senior, And let's look at the teams now. We got a whole bunch of teams at the Mumbai Senior. Okay, so you can see them all there. Notice that as you flip through the different teams, the schools up here at the top, you see the teams from each school down here in the lower left. There's also an option to show them all. And now we see all the teams from all the schools here. If you need to do that, and it's easy to do, to get back on just one school, just click up here on the top and it will go back to one school. You can actually add teams here. If you want to add a team for St. Francis High School, you will use this button up here. Says Add St. Francis High School Vasai Team. That'll add another team down here that is from Vasai. There's another option down here that says Add, and if you look closely it says Add an Independent Team. And that's a different button. So this button here is at the top is for adding another St. Francis team, and the one down here is for adding the independent team. And down here in the lower right corner you can, whoops, I've gotten a little too big here for my britches. Let me resize the screen. Sorry about that. Lost my head for a moment there. Alright. Now, down here in the corner you can show all the students too, and so if you need to see all the students, and you can sort them by first name, last name, or whatever. Oh, there's a bunch with no first name. Must have been ones where the coach or the entry person put them all in under the same name. I'm not sure that's much of an issue. It shows their school beside each one. Okay, shows which school they're from, and even if they're on an independent team, it will still show their school over here. Okay, so that is the registration. Strongly recommend that you, after you get things squared away, maybe you have to go in and edit some team names or whatever, before you go on, do an export. And this export will actually save an importable file to a known folder. And let's go ahead and let it do its export. It'll export a file that you can actually import later. And let's open that up and look and see where that is. And here is the registration worksheet. Okay, and we'll open that up and look at that real quickly. I think you probably have seen this already. And there it is. That's just the same kind of worksheet you use for your imports there. The column numbers and so forth are the same. This one here, though, it says Senior Mumbai, and this is just the seniors. And if you had to rebuild the contest, which I'm going to show you in a little bit, you would have that available. Okay, so we're doing here the Senior Mumbai meet. Alright, next let's close the registration down. Suppose that's all set. Let's go ahead and go to debate. I don't think we have any changes on the scheduler, but as you enter debate it will enter all the student names here. The scheduling is the same. The procedure first is to click the create the team, all the teams here. It actually creates a separate team entry from the regular team thing, and then it creates half that many rooms over here. And then this button here does the scheduling. Okay, these are the outputs for the schedule for Excel and the output for Word, and this is the folder they'll be placed in. Just click on that and it will open up the folder where you find the student debate schedules. Next, the design actually has the entry, the point multiplier, and you might check yours against this one. I believe this one is the same that Daniel gave me. And if you have somehow had some of these change, and it sounds like somebody did, Daniel said there were a number of scores above 103. This should give us a max of 103.5. Okay, finally the scanning, I guess, has been going okay. The scanning sheet, you put it in and scan them in, and you'll get these scores here, and you can look at the error column to help you figure things out. We do have something new here for you. I have added a manual entry here, and so if you have to do one score sheet with the manual entry, you would actually create 6 new records at the bottom by using the Add button. I click the Add button, and all you get is a blank line here, and you don't enter anything on the errors, but enter the number 5678, round 3, affirmative team, yes, or if not, negative team. 5, 7, 6, 5, 4, 6. Best on team, yes. Showcase, yes. Winner, yes. So you have a new line here, and if you enter the forms right here, they will import directly over here to the compile. Okay, so anything that's in this table here, whether it comes from the scanner or whether it is hand entered, this line right here should give you the ability to enter a form by adding 6 separate student lines here, and then they will import. So if you have one it won't read, that's the way you can get it done. Okay, you can also delete them. Just hit the delete button and it will delete the ones that are highlighted there. Alright, that is the debate. As far as I know, that's what we have new there, is the ability to add manual entry. We'll get out of debate now and go back to, one more thing here on debate. Again, let's see, I was in Senior Mumbai. Let's go back to debate. What I was doing here was, after I have imported my scores here and maybe hand entered whatever, be sure in every event to hit the Export Excel. We've had some issues in the past. Charlie was kind of the expert at doing this whole routine, but if you have these Excel spreadsheets and you always have this import here, and that import will let you bring that data back in, and I actually used that. We had trouble with the Tournament of Champions senior round, and I basically was able to restore the entire tournament by just using those Excel forms. 5 forms will give you the whole tournament. The first form is the registration, then you have a form for challenge, debate, bowl, and writing. And you have five spreadsheets, and you can build the whole thing here, and then it will do the rest of the scoring. If you're having trouble getting something to show up, if you have something, I had trouble after something happened to the form, I had trouble getting results for the challenge, and basically all I did was delete the tournament. I went back to registration, and you don't have to delete the tournament, I did, but you can go in here and delete the tournament if you want. Once you have those 5 spreadsheets, you can rebuild the tournament in about 5 minutes. Okay? And basically you would import, you would delete the tournament or add a new tournament if you like. Just add a new tournament, fill in the information here and here on this page here. Then you would go to the teams and do the import for the registration. And then you would go into each of the other modules. You'd go into challenge, essay, debate, and bowl and import all of those. And as you hit exit, it creates all the results and you're back to reports in a very short time. Okay? Essay, we had some issues, and it just got one there. Oh, I'm using a spreadsheet that hasn't been fixed. Okay, so let me get out of that, switch over. I've added a new field here, so let me go back, not on Zach's copy, but on this copy here. And I have to get rid of all of the copies that don't have this and going into the essay. In the essay, I added a field here called Tag ID, and it's just like the SCUP ID, except it has the 501A and so forth. It's really not anything there except for manual entry. So when you do manual entry, you have that, and it may be easier to read than this one. Okay, and it's over here next to the tags. For those of you who are entering, though, all you have to do is type in the Scholars Cup ID. That's the number one, not the letter one. So if you want 5072, it will jump down to 5072 and put the cursor on the first available blank judge area. Okay, if we went to 5181, and they don't have one there. Let me go down to one that's off the screen here. I'm in a small one here, London. Let me go back to Mumbai, Senior Mumbai essay. Okay, so now we have a big meet. It goes way down to, wow, 6,000 something. So we're up here and we're trying to scroll our way down to enter something. Just enter 6131 and it will jump down to 6131 and over to the next available judge. So should you ever have to enter anything here on the essay scores, and you probably will, it's pretty fast to do in this program rather than using spreadsheets. Okay, so you can directly enter these, and or you can do the export here ahead of time. Once the names are in here, just hit the export and create these spreadsheets that work here. This one has the advantage that it has this search feature. Just type in the ID number and it will jump you directly to the place where you want to enter the number. Okay? If you have 5 people on spreadsheets, you probably can do it faster. Once these are all in, be sure to hit the Export Excel, because that's the recovery mode. Before you're done, you should be able to go in here to this place and see all of these worksheets here. Okay. Actually, we have an extra one here. Challenge, bowl, debate, bowl final. What's that? Oh, that's the bowl. Registration and writing. Do we have two writings? Writing, bowl, challenge, debate. Oh, there's two bowls. Okay. And registration. So we have, I think the one you guys actually typed in here, this one just with a student ID, the team number, and the bowl. And you had all the teams here with the extra leftovers. This is what you actually imported from. You might be careful. I'm not sure these will import. You might clean this up a little bit before you import. Just a thought. Okay. When you run into issues with things like that, sometimes it's these unexpected values in the data that cause problems. You really don't need these for the import. They were just left over from when you entered your stuff. And so let me see this. Let's see if we can do this. That's the Mumbai Bowl final. Let's not save the changes and see what kind of problems we run into. Okay. So I'm going to go into the bowl. Let's try this out. You said you had to hand enter last time. So let's try this out on the bowl. So senior, that was not, was that Mumbai? Probably was. And it's being a little slow, but not bad. Okay, so there's our bowl. We're going to clear it out. We're in senior Mumbai. Let's make sure we have one to import. I think we have two. There's the actual data. I know we can get this to import. I'm opening this up to glance at it. Being kind of slow here. I'm waiting a full minute here, Excel. I'm not sure why you're being so slow. There we go. Got it over here on my other monitor. And this is the actual export. If we look at it, this one has just the buzzers and the totals, and that's all you need. Okay. So there's the bowl export, the one you can import later. Basically, all it needs is the SCUP ID, the Scholars Cup ID, and the total. Anything that has those two columns works to import. Be careful not to have other extra junk at the end of it. That can cause problems. So let's go ahead and clear these out. Mumbai Senior, they're gone. I'm saving it. Okay, if I close it and reopen it, the bowl scores should be gone. So it's as if we're importing again from scratch. And we will then go ahead and import by student number. And let's locate the correct file. And we're going to try that one with two columns and see if we can break it. Bowl. I think that's the one with the export. Anyway, if you're importing, here we go, Mumbai Bowl final. Okay, here's the one that just has the two teams mixed together, and that's not a problem. But this stuff here is, and you can actually delete it here in this module. You should be able to delete it, but let's try it without deleting it and see what happens. We have to match up the column tops, so Scholars Cup ID here, total here, and it will try and match up each of these numbers over here, and so we'll hit it, and we got an error. Notice it says conversion from string such and such type integer is not valid. Continue. Now notice something. It got all the scores in. It hiccuped when it got to that bad score, but it actually matched up all the scores to their team numbers here. And so even though we got an error message, that was a successful import. Just that garbage at the end caused some problems. I'm going to save that. Okay. And if you want to do a progress report on the PowerPoint, basically pick your meets, and they both need to be in. And let's see if it'll work for us. I haven't tried this in quite a while. I got a PowerPoint opening, and I think we got one here going on. We've got a senior division, high score, And a junior division high score, maybe. Can't see it yet, but I think it's there. Yes. Let's look at this. Here's what we got. Okay, there it is. And here's the junior division. Notice it wrapped a little bit. And here's the senior division. You can go back in here and clean this up, shorten this up if you want to. That should work. And there we go. So we have our progress reports, and that's once they're in both of the meets, you're good to go. Let's close that down and go into reports. The longer the meet, this is one significant pause here on this piece. Entering the reports is relatively slow. Let's go to Mumbai Senior. There we go. So, and now it takes again about 10 or 12 seconds to read each meet. So you don't want to be switching back and forth, and for heaven's sakes, don't hit your up and down arrow keys a few times while you're waiting here. This is a little bit of a new piece here, this worksheet page right here. And basically you can go down and look at all of your results as you go down, and if you're lucky you can see all of the highlighted scores that are being displayed here in color. Blue is the medal and green is the honorable mention for the challenge. So we can go down the challenge and we see how many medals are given in each one. If you want to say on this one here, quite a few medals. If we wanted to eliminate that 5, we would go up here to literature and just go ahead and enter, instead of 4, enter 3, and then move off of it, probably onto the other one beside it, and it'll show you then the result. We have 2 first place ties and then 4 honorable mentions. Not very many ties in literature. And you can do the same thing as we scroll down through the different events here. The writing event, often a problem. By the way, I found the issue on the rounding. It had to do with the fact that when we pasted in, I had it re-add the scores, and the addition routine that was doing the adding had an integer value that rounded off all the scores. It's back. It's working to keep the writing scores as decimals again. Okay. All right. So then we have the qualifying score here and all these here, and you can modify these. We're looking at the writing scores. We have 5, 5, and 5. That looks to be quite a lot for this. We have a whole page full of honor medals, so let's say reduce that down to 3 individual honor medals, and it will reduce that down to about 6 names for honor medals. And then the honor roll is also very long. Let's go ahead and reduce that down to the next 3 ordinals, and the honor roll is a little shorter. Let's make it 2. Let's see how many green ones we have now. We have about 7 or 8 green ones. If you look at this whole thing, the number of highlighted is a very small fraction of the total number of students in this contest. Challenge, we usually have fewer ties. There's all of our challenge scores. Let's say we want to reduce that a little bit. The team medals will leave at 5, but let's say we go 3-2 again. Okay, and there's what 3-2 looks like. Let's go to the debate. The debate, 5, 5 individuals. Oops, I've been messing up here. 3-2. Okay, so there's what the challenge now looks like. The debate, 5, and then let's go 3-2. 2 for the honor roll. That's not very many. Let's go bigger than that. 3, 4. It's a few people, at least a screen full. We have about 7 or 8 on the screen, so there's a screen full of honorable mentions. You might as well have that many. And then the bowl. There's no individual bowl, so now we go to the team scores. Here's what the team scores look like. 5, 5, and 5 gives you 15 teams. Challenge, 5, 5, and 5. We've got a couple of ties in here. Not a huge number, but a few. So if you wanted to reduce this to challenge to 5, 4, 4, you could do that. And there's what it would look like with 5, 4, 4. We're out to 13th place. Debate, team. Not too many ties. There's a 3-way tie for 10th. And that's it. I would leave it the way. And finally, bowl. There's a tie for 3rd and a tie for 5th and 6th. A few ties. Not a huge number. You could perhaps reduce this to 4 and 4 and have a shorter list if you wanted to. And let's see what we got now for a bowl in this division. We have 5, and I thought we reduced it to 4. There we go. 4. Okay, there's 4 places for the honor medals and 5 places for the honorable mention. Finally, we scroll on down past the rookie and visiting and team high individuals, and we ran in, okay, 57 of those, and they would all be medalists because there's 57 high people on the team. Takes a little bit of time to get all of those run through. Wow. And then we have the individuals, and right now we're sitting with the individuals on 5, 5, and 5. And, 5, 5, and 10, excuse me, down here on the bottom. Oh, I see. We tripled up one of our headings. There we go. Couldn't see the bottom of this thing to fix these, and it was because as it narrowed up, it stacked them so high that they didn't scroll. So we'll unstack them by moving this over. And now over here we have 5, 5, and 10, and that could be okay, possibly. Set your things up here, and you'll be good to go. Okay, just a couple of things to watch out for. I don't really know why we got an error here. It looked like somebody might have maybe highlighted some of these and bumped the delete key or something. There were some of these in the challenge that were deleted from one of the meets, and that was causing the problem with the software. I'm not sure what to do. I just rebuilt the thing from its Excel spreadsheets, and it didn't take very long at all once I figured out how to proceed. And if you run into trouble, that's my first aid, is to make sure you have all of the data from the different modules in spreadsheets, and then you can rebuild quickly if you need to. Okay, well that's about it. We have gone through and worked on a number of things that were problems, and we got the manual entry for the debate. We got it fixed so that I think everything is running now. I've rebuilt tournaments a couple of times on this. The import thing was a problem because of the fact on the essay there was an import problem on the essay because I added this column and the import routine didn't like that column. Okay, so this thing here in a way is so interdependent with so many routines that depend on other routines that when you guys request a change, sometimes it causes issues that are unexpected. I hadn't run through every routine on the program after I added this new column. It looked like it worked okay, but I hadn't tried an import on that yet. So I'll be around. I'll try and be around again for this weekend. I think we're looking better. I've been working with it again quite a number of hours, and let me know how things go. Sorry this took so long, but there were a number of things I wanted to get through. So I'll post this, and if you get a chance, you can take a look at it. Thanks for watching. Bye.